Welcome back again, Class C1 at West St. Paul. Mr. B here, going to go over the Asian Country Research Project with you a bit to give you a bit of background on what to do. I know some of you have already started. If you're not sure which country you're doing, go back to Google Classrooms, click on the list link that's in the assignment, and you will see which country you have been assigned. All of this information can be jotted down on Word, on Docs, or just on loose leaf, because at the end it needs to be put into a PowerPoint. When we get back together as a class, we are going to be presenting these to the class. Now, the first thing you need to do is look at geography. Now, geography is worth 10 marks in total, which means each one of these sections should be about 2 marks, so you could say 2 things about each. Starting with the landforms. Are there major deserts, mountain chains, rivers, lakes? I know it says landform, but you can include water forms as well in here. I would list 2 of them, seeing as it's worth potentially 2 marks. Major cities, at least 2 of them, but you're welcome to do more. You would definitely be good to have the capital city in there, but as well, you could list other ones there if you'd like. The location, what is the latitude and longitude of your country? Now, if you're doing China or Russia, you're going to have a lot of area to cover. So maybe just pick one city and find the latitude and longitude of that city. Travel time. How long will it take to get to this country from Canada? And these are estimates, obviously. It's not, depending on the flight, where you're stopping over. And lastly, agriculture. What do they grow or produce? Look at a few of the items they do. The next section is worth 25 marks. And this section is people, culture, and religion. Now, in total, I've recommended to look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sections. So you can have 2 things about each one, but I would make a couple of them slightly longer. For example, population. What is the total population of the country? I'd try to say 2 things about that if you could. You can maybe do the population of the country as a whole, and then maybe the population of its largest city. The literacy rates. So what is the literacy rate of your country? Now, if you're doing a country that you cannot find it, it is okay to put that you can't find the data. Not all countries submit data. I do believe most Asian countries do, with the exception of North Korea, but I don't believe anyone even has that one. Fertility rate. So how many children are people having in your country? Clean water percentage. So what is the clean water percentage of your country? Now, this can mostly be found on the UN Human Development Index website. So if you go to Google and just type in UNHDI, you will be able to find a lot of these. Let's do that together now, just to give you an idea of how to do that. So if we minimize here, sorry, I have a few files open here, good. And we're going to open up Internet Explorer. And let's just go to Google, because that's where most of you are going to begin. There's Google, and oh wow, we're on Google there. And let's type in UNHDI. You were already familiar with this website. This is where we did our graphs. And if you click there and you go to country profiles, now you just select your country. So let's say you're doing Mongolia. You can click on Mongolia, and here is a lot of information for you. So life expectancy, years of schooling, national income, a lot of these we don't need, but homicide rate, we have internet users, although that's not on there. Total population is right there. So there is some useful information here that you can find, as well as some of how their HDI is calculated. Now, this isn't going to find you everything, but it's going to help you with a number of things. If you want to find things like safe water percentage, what I will do today is I will attach the data sets from our atlases to the file so you can look specifically at your country and find the information there. So let's go back to here. Now, infant mortality rate, that will also be in the data sets. Average school years was right there. So if you're doing Mongolia, the average school is 14.2 years that kids go to school in Mongolia. Language. What languages do they speak? And sometimes it's more than one. Major religions. What religions are practiced there? These are categories you could definitely write more than two things about, especially food. What are some of their major dishes that they have there? What are some common articles of clothing worn? And what is some popular music listened to there? And you're going to find a lot of these countries, they do listen to American or Canadian music. So it's not unusual to find that in the countries there. But we're looking at more traditional. Now, the next section is economy and government. Now, this section here is worth 15 total marks. So there are 5 categories there. You could break them into 3 marks for each one. Type of government. Is this a democracy, a republic, a monarchy? What type of government do they have there? The average income. Well, we just had that. If you go back to the internet, if you're doing Mongolia, the average income per family in Mongolia, where was it, is $10,000 and $10,784 per year. So this website can be very helpful to you. Important people from the past or present. So you could look for some interesting people from today or from the past. The main industries. What do they produce there? Steel, aircraft material, shipbuilding, computer technology. What do they make there? And lastly, what kind of money do they use? Their currency. Last section here is also worth 15 marks. Cool things to do. I would definitely talk about at least 4 for each one, 3 to 4 to make sure you get that 15 marks. Shopping. Are there shopping malls, shopping centers, places like that? If you're doing the Philippines, I've been to the Mall of Asia. It's fantastic there. Museums. Are there some famous museums to visit? Entertainment. What are some things you can do there? And outdoor activities. These can usually be found by just simply Googling top 10 things to do in your country, and they'll come up with that for you. Now, there is a challenge section here to get additional marks. You could do a chart. Now, the chart is, I thought I had it on the outline there. Maybe it is. Possibly here. That's the same one I had. Ah, there it is. So you could do a chart that would compare your country's facts with Canada. Use the United Nations data on human development. So just like we did with when we compared the 4 countries on our data map, for an extra 10 marks, you could go here. You could compare, you can compare Mongolia with Canada. So you could do a quick graph of Canada's income. And I apologize for the bell. I'm actually at school here. I'm not at home. So you could do a quick comparison there. Now, the other options for you are to do a map. Find a map of your country for an extra 2 additional marks. Hand draw the flag. I'm not talking about going and downloading a picture. If you can do a hand-drawn flag, I'll give you an additional 5 marks. In addition, you need a bibliography. So as you're finding resources and websites, write down the websites you're using. You're going to get, I want at least 4 different websites. And if you use half a mark for each one, and if you use the UN one, for example, you'd go here, and here's the website right there. You could just put in here, or even just put the link right there. And lastly, I would like some pictures, so try to find at least 10 pictures. You're going to get half a mark for each one for a total of 5 marks. Spelling and punctuation, 5 marks. Organization, which would be your PowerPoint, 5 marks. And neatness and detail, is it easy to follow? For a total of 112 marks. Yes, this is a very lengthy assignment. You can work on it slowly if you have time. So for example, you wake up in the morning, you complete your math assignment, you complete your social studies assignment, and it's only noon. Well, you would have been in school for another 2.5 hours, so work on this slowly. Go and find some information. Do 1 section per week or 1 section per every 2 or 3 days, and you'll start to be, you'll get yourself ahead really quickly with that. Otherwise, guys, that's it. If you have any individual questions, please let me know. Once again, really missing you guys here. I do not like doing these boring sit in front of the computer videos. It's just not fun at all, but it's the best we can do right now. Talk to you guys later. Bye.